This is absolute, absolute torture. Somebody, please, get me the fuck out of here yesterday. I can take this no longer. Every single thing imaginable is bare minimum 10 times harder than it should be. Sometimes infinitely harder than it should be. Let me tell you the story of my horrible day. I've got life set up so that I don't use my SI very much, right? I know where the microwave is. It's not going anywhere. Yeah. Okay. I keep expecting over and over again things to be the same as they've always been. The things I'm not supposed to have to think about, right? Like, when I get up in the morning, I start a pot of coffee. The coffee pot's right over there. Oh, no, we don't have a coffee pot anymore. There's absolutely nothing useful at all in this house. Everything that could possibly be used by anybody for anything useful has been hidden. So, this morning, because, of course, I have no coffee pot, no microwave, and no food, I DoorDash myself McDonald's. Except, of course, inexplicably, my phone doesn't beep beep like it normally does to tell me that McDonald's it's received my order. McDonald's received my order. It gives me multiple beep beeps as the process goes on. For things I'm not supposed to have to remember, I don't remember them. So, I don't remember whether I completed my DoorDash order or not. The lack of beep beeps tells me I must not have. So then, I DoorDash. I said, well, fuck it, I'm not really that hungry anyway. I'll just DoorDash a couple coffees from Pete's. I DoorDash coffees from Pete's. Guess what happens? All of the texts suddenly come through. Now I've DoorDashed both McDonald's and Pete's. Why? Because the stuff I'm not supposed to have to remember, I don't remember. Like whether I completed the DoorDash order, you know? It's supposed to beep. And now I got 2 DoorDashes coming to me. I'm like, oh God, Eric, you just DoorDashed McDonald's, which is indulgent enough, and then you DoorDashed 2 cups of coffee from Pete's to yourself. Wow, God, what a nightmare. Of course, but the thing is, I order the coffees black because I only like to put this kind of creamer in, okay? But, of course, since I've got my cup of coffee with creamer in it already and I'm drinking it, I'm not thinking about the Pete's that's sitting out on the front doorstep, right? So by the time I finish my cup of coffee, none of the other coffees are hot enough to melt this kind of creamer. Of course, guess what? We don't have a microwave. Have fun. So I go, oh, fuck. Look, Rachel, we gotta go to the store. Because we have a trash can. But guess what we don't have? Kitchen trash bags. Except, guess what we do have? Infinite kitchen trash bags. But guess where they are? In the pod. And guess what I can't find? The box with the trash bags in it. So we go to the store to buy new trash bags, which we successfully do. And I say, look, Rachel, we're going to be responsible. We are going to be responsible here. We're going to get a bunch of these frozen dinners, and we're just going to eat those. Save a lot of money. Get them all, like 16 of these fucking things, into my cart. And then as we're walking along the store, I think it's Rachel or I, one of the two of us goes, wait a second, we don't have a microwave. Of course, we don't want to put all those things back because that's a big hassle. So I go, look, we'll just cook it in the oven, okay? It's going to take an hour to cook anything, but whatever, we'll cook them in the oven. So we keep all the frozen dinners. Get our kitchen trash bag. Of course, I forget to get more of this kind of creamer. We have very little left. And for some reason I got this small kind instead of the big kind. Well, I know why, because I don't like to scoop it. I want to just pour it, you know. So we get this. So we get home. I'm like, let's eat a couple of these lasagnas that we got. Okay, let's eat a couple of these lasagnas that we got. She's like, well, I'm not really hungry right now. I said, aha, but you've forgotten something, Rachel. We have to cook our food an hour before we're hungry. Because we only have an oven, not a microwave. So, of course, oh no, you do, oh my God. You've gotta be kidding me. Is the internet doing that again? You better stay green, you motherfucker. You better stay green. I go out there. The only useful thing that matters in this whole house, the internet, I discover the realtor has pushed it all the way to the back corner, so it's further away from here, instead of leaving it where I left it so I can actually get into inside the house. Fucking people. Anyway, so we cooked the frozen dinners. We get 2 lasagnas cooked. We're gonna eat them. Take them out of the oven. Oops, I forgot. We don't have any silverware. And the food that I just cooked is impossible to eat with your hands. So, I say, don't worry, Rachel. I know where the silverware is. By which I mean the silverware. Right? It's actually made out of silver, okay? We kept that silverware. So, we put that in the pot. I said, don't worry, Rachel. I know where it is in the pod. And I was smart. I got all see-through containers so I can just see through them. Of course. I opened the pod. Could not find the box with the silver in. And I don't feel like once again, for the millionth time, taking all of the containers out of the pod, opening them all up, and trying to figure out where I put something. I still can't find my air pistol. There's endless peacocks that need to be shot with it. So, here we are, in this house with all of this plenty, right? And we've got 2 lasagnas, 2 frozen lasagnas. We've just cooked in the oven, and we are just brought to our absolute knees because we don't have a spoon. be kidding me? Man, my feet are cold. I think to myself, I'm going to put on some socks. Oh, goodness gracious. There are 4 suitcases in the bedroom. Of course, I don't remember what's inside of any of them. I don't remember which ones of them are Rachel's and which ones of them are mine. And I don't remember if there are any socks in any of them. But I'll go and take a shot in the dark, you know, maybe it's in one of these suitcases. Of course, I open all of Rachel's suitcases first. Nope, that's not my suitcase. Nope, that's not my suitcase. Nope, that's not my suitcase. Open my suitcase, and guess what's inside of it? One wool coat. I have a million pairs of socks in the pod somewhere. I'm so bad at what this requires that I didn't even consider leaving clothes for myself. Oh my God. This is such torture for an ENTP. I can't even make good practical decisions because they rely upon things that I'm not supposed to have to remember remaining the same. Like, the microwave is over there. Like, we have spoons. You know, how, in what world does it make sense to update your knowledge of things like that any more frequently than I do? Which is very infrequently. Oh, I need to keep constantly updating my knowledge of whether or not we have a spoon. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. This is the worst thing in... Oh, Dean just called. I'll call him back. Of course. Of course. And then USC magically loses the game. I have no idea how they even lost that game. Let me call it. Wait, or no. You guys just chat amongst yourself for a second. Here's the thing. At that point, the person I want you to bring in is my friend Chawa. Okay.
Tell them, but tell them that will be
Unlikely to happen.
Alright, I'll be in touch tomorrow. When we get the computer, I'll send you a link so you can see the listing online. And then I think the for sale sign will be going up on.
And you'll take care of that amendment thing you just talked about, right?
I'm gonna have her sign it, and then I'll send it.
You don't
think
even.
Delilah needs to sign
Yeah,
it.
okay, fine. Send it to Delilah, she'll sign it to you.
Okay, thank you. Every day. Oh, I forgot I was live streaming again. Well, that was satisfying. So, she's just gonna walk away from it. Janet's just gonna amend the thing, so she's not part of this at all anymore. And Dean's just gonna be the guy, and that's fine. So I'll call Chawa and say, we're probably not gonna need you at all. The reality is, he's normally dealing agent to agent, not actually with direct buyers, so that's fine. And she doesn't have to pay me anything. If she's willing to, well, you probably heard the very end of that conversation, except I forgot I was live streaming. If she's willing to fall on her sword as she damn well deserves to, then fine. Yes, it is required. It's a disclosure thing. I don't know, Rachel, everything just got perfect, actually, really, really easily and quickly. Janet agreed to remove herself entirely from this deal and just have it be just Dean. And I agreed that she didn't have to pay me any money to do that. I let her win that point. That's called me being practical. You still anywhere on the property show me it's required disclosure. I don't think Chinese people are actually that superstitious. I do think that any buyer is going to exploit anything they can to try to get the price knocked down. That's just understandable behavior of buyers, right? Buyers want to pay as little as possible. Sellers want to pay as much as possible. But no, everything's now at least that question's done. I mean, probably they'd learn from the neighbors and then they'd sue us. Oh God, I mean, just everything's been torture. It hasn't even listed yet, Michelle Wee, and my realtor tried to buy it at under market value from me. Because she knew we were in a hurry to get out of here, and she knew what the minimum we'd take was, and she tried to tell me that was the maximum we'd get and offer it to me. Like, you don't seem to get your job, woman. Your job is to sell my house for as much as you can get, not buy it for as little as we'll take. Anyway, now she's out of the deal entirely, and she doesn't have to pay anything. Well, that's fine. But that thing is, the point is, I don't even care about that, right? I expect people to make lowball offers or whatever. I just don't expect them to be the person whose job it is to sell my house. You know? So that you picked my realtor based on his birthday. I actually let Rachel pick the realtor. She picked Janet because she was trying to honor my father's wishes. But of course, the reason my father had 20 years of Janet's refrigerator magnets on the refrigerator was not because he thought Janet was a good realtor, but because he liked refrigerator magnet calendars. And he never took them off of the refrigerator for some reason. He had, like, you know, the year 2000's refrigerator magnet calendar on the refrigerator. So anyway, the cool thing is Rachel picked the wrong person for the wrong reason, and it worked out right anyway. This is the magic of INFJs. Because I like Dean. Dean's great. We called Janet, and somehow we got Dean as our realtor, right? It's like, it's funny how I called you Janet Ho, and so far, the only realtor I've ever met or seen is Dean. For weeks. Poor Rachel made the right choice. I like Dean. Dean's honest, and he's my beneficiary type. He cannot fool me. He cannot get ahead of me, or it's impossible. Like, he tried to smooth things over with FE. I just brushed it right out of the way, you know? He's an ENFJ. The day he's gonna fool me is never. He might be an ESFJ, but I think he's an ENFJ who's mastered the art of remembering details about real estate stuff. That's what I think. Well, I mean, this house down the street from us listed at 1.15 and closed at 1.2 in less than a month. Like, it was, their sign went from available to sold, like, in a couple of weeks at most. I don't know. I don't research things like that. I don't want to know about stuff that's other people's jobs. Just like they don't need to know about stuff that's my job, you know? It's like, I don't want to know about real estate. That's not my job. It's not my job, and could there be anything more boring? Oh my God. Why anybody would go into real estate? You must have a serious appetite for boredom. Like, I want to go into the most boring thing I can think of. I'm gonna go into real estate. Yeah, I'll put them. Yeah, I guess it's fine now. Might as well. It's not that hard to find my address anyway. You can look it up yourself on the, it'll be listed on Zillow tomorrow. But look, Winston's mom, you don't think that nobody quite gets this about Arcadia. There are very distinct neighborhoods in Arcadia. We live in the village. Prices of homes in the village can be compared against this house. Prices of homes in the part that's up above the freeway are way more expensive. Prices of homes that are below Huntington are less expensive. We're in this square area between four big streets that's got the LA County Arboretum in this square as well, okay? This area is known as the Village. It has its own homeowners association and rules that are separate from other neighborhoods in Arcadia, right? So if you want to get a good idea of what this house is worth, you can only compare it against other homes within the village. Otherwise, your ideas are going to be all skewed. Actually, I find handwriting analysis and font type much more interesting than real estate. I don't know why you would think I would find that boring when I said I found real estate boring. Oh, thank you, Rachel. And you didn't even need me to help you put it in there. Thank you so much. HOAs be high. Oh, I don't think there's really any fee to pay. There's just rules you have to follow to live in this neighborhood. You don't have to pay a homeowners association fee. You just have to follow their rules. Like, you basically, they don't want anybody's house blocking anybody else's house view of the mountains, for example. So you can only build your house so tall. Rules like that. Like you have to have your central heating and air hidden from street view. You can't be visible to anybody from the street. Rules like that. Okay. The things that I don't care about at all, but a lot of people do. That's what this homeowners association is all about. And they give little awards too. So as you drive around this neighborhood, which isn't that big of an area because it's, enclosed by these four streets, and a good portion of it is the LA County Arboretum actually. So not that big of an area, but you'll see like somebody's house has a sign. I saw it just yesterday. Best holiday decorations in this neighborhood. Best landscaping. Best spring landscaping. There's some people who are like homeowners association board is in charge of doing that shit. Like, okay, this is not a neighborhood for me. Sorry. I hate this place. Oh yeah, the HOA around here is easy, and their rules are reasonable, and nobody's trying to bust anybody, right? It's just like, no, you can't build one of your stupid Chinese mansions that completely blocks my house's view of the mountains. So if Chinese people want to come in, if Chinese people have an acre of land, they want their house to occupy 0.99 of an acre. They don't believe in lawns, right, or backyards or anything. They just, it's like all house. So the homeowners association in here prevents them from doing that. No, I don't have a homeowners association in my new house. It's, in fact, Mariposa County doesn't even have any cities. It's all county. There's no municipal level government. How fantastic is that? Now, if only I could eat that lasagna I made. Too bad I don't have a spoon. I mean, this is why it's absolute torture, right? I'm surrounded by all of this privilege and all of these fake objects, and I can't eat lunch because I don't have a spoon. I mean, and if I were to be good at this at all, it would require me to be two things. SI 1 or 2 and TE the other one. The only people who could possibly be good at this maddening, torturous affair. Well, yeah, it doesn't list till tomorrow. I already told you that, Michelle. If you want to look at the listing of it, you have to wait till tomorrow. But you could look it up on the Google Maps right now, you know. It doesn't list till tomorrow because of this stupid New Year's Day is on the 2nd because it was a Sunday thing that they do. Like, come on. If New Year's Day is on a Sunday, it's still New Year's Day. You can't just say January 2nd is now New Year's Day. Well, that's obviously wrong. They can just do that, and they did. So, as a consequence, now January 3rd, it becomes the day after New Year magically. Who comes up with this shit? I tell you who comes up with it, the NFL. They don't want their fucking New Year's Day college football games interfering with their Sunday slate of NFL games. That's the main reason, I bet. So, you know, given, of course, we bought all these frozen dinners, and that we've got 2 lasagnas cooked that we can't eat, and I don't have a spoon, what do you think I'm going to do for dinner? Hopefully not the same thing I did for breakfast. Hopefully for dinner I'll just DoorDash one meal. You know. It's either that or go to the store and buy plastic spoons and forks. Or take out all the boxes from the pot again to try to find the silverware, which for some god unknown reason I put in the pot. Right? Well, I know why. It's because the reality of whether we're here or there or someplace else keeps changing. You know, so I'm making decisions based on what I'm supposed to know, and then it keeps changing. Everything that needs to stay the same keeps changing. Everything that needs to change keeps staying the same. It's that simple, okay? It is that simple. Everything that needs to stay the same keeps changing, and everything that needs to change keeps staying the same. What could possibly be more frustrating than that? The only saving grace of it is it's so frustrating that much of the time it's hilarious. It's either hilarious or enraging. One of the two, you know. Or sometimes I'm just sad, like, why won't this end? Why? Why must I undergo this continual torture? Oh, it requires all the skills that I don't have and none of the skills that I do have. Everything about this requires all the skills that I don't have and none of the skills that I do have. So it's just an endless succession of epic Eric failures. I can't find this. I don't know where that is. I still don't have any socks on. Because God only knows where any of my million pairs of socks are. Michelle, that's not why I'm not relaxed. Oh, talk about anti-polar. Sorry, man, but you're not getting the point here. I'm not stressed out about how much money we're going to get or not get for this house at all. I'm not worried about that. I just want this process to be over as quickly as possible because I hate it so much. Oh. You know, it's like we finally. Oh, Delilah could not be any less helpful. She hates this shit just as much as I do. Her advantage over me is all she has to do is sign things. Oh. And therefore, that's all she's going to do. The most helpful she's ever been is when I called her from the mortuary and she said, yes, I can pay for your mom's funeral out of the trust since she died a month ahead of schedule. You get it. You just want things to be over, too. You had your in-laws plan your wedding. You had your husband do your immigration paperwork. I would be like you if I had to. Well, be glad you don't. Because this is miserable. Absolutely miserable. Like, we check into this little hotel in Baldwin Park with 8.4 hotels.com rating. It was so cheap. It was like $600 for 4 nights in the peak holiday time of Los Angeles, where hotels are the most expensive they could possibly be. 8.4? $600? Wow. We should go there for sure, right? We go to this hotel. It is by far the most ghetto hotel I have ever stayed in. We booked 4 nights. When we get there, they charge us a total of $275, which is less than half of what we booked it at on Hotels.com. And I'm like, is this a deposit or something? And then guy's kid comes and says, "Oh, we charged you too little. I'm so sorry, so sorry, so sorry." I'm like, "Yeah, I was wondering why it's only this much. I thought maybe it was a deposit or something." And he said, "No, no, no." And then he charged us a total of $440 for 4 nights, even though we booked it on Hotels.com at $660 for 4 nights. So I do not understand what was going on there. And I said, "That's fine, okay." And then we stayed there 2 nights. And I said, and then Janet had the good grace to fuck up so badly. Because at that point, then I was no longer caring about being cooperative with anybody. And I just said, "We are leaving this history's shittiest 8.4 star motel and going back to the house. And I don't even give a fuck. We're just going to make a mess. I don't even care." So we let the cats in the house. Hooray for us. And Trouble decides to reward us by taking a massive dump, like a human-sized dump, in the middle of one of the fake beds. So in the middle of the night last night, I get up, I'm like, "What is that?" I go look in my dad's bedroom, and it's like, oh my God, did a human come and take a massive shit on this fucking comforter? Nope, that was Trouble shit. There was so much of it too, it was unbelievable. I've never seen a cat shit that much shit before. And not that I've watched a lot of cats shit, granted. I mostly don't spend my time watching cats shit, but and I didn't even see him shit that, but it had to be him. I know Capillo there's no way Capillo could possibly produce that much shit. It might have been Rachel, I guess. She could have sleep shat. She could have been sleepwalking and shat on the bed in there. But I think Rachel's shit would have been probably a little bit bigger than the shit that... Oh, no, we resolved that problem, Horseman. Actually, my furious rage got it such that Janet is going to remove herself entirely from this deal, walk away completely, and leave it all up to Dean, and remove herself. We're going to amend the thing. So I was going to sign something. And the concession I had to make is, okay, fine, you don't have to also pay us $10,000. So I win. And she loses, as she should. So now I don't care. I don't want to get her in trouble. I just want her away from me and never have anything to do with me again. I'm not into getting people in trouble, you know. I am into threatening to get them into trouble. But I'm not into actually getting people in trouble, even if they fucked up badly like she did. I mean, Jeremiah thinks that's one way of interpreting it. Another way of interpreting it is he hates this just as much as I do, but he's smarter than me. He has somebody to blame, me. So he's going to shit in the middle of that bed. And you know what? I just have to say, I deserve it, Trouble. I am putting you through a bunch of shit because you're a cat, so I can't explain to you that it's actually the realtor's fault. It's not really their fault anyway, but that's how I like to think about it. So I just got up in the middle of the night. Trouble! I made him go outside, and I fucking took the fucking shitty blanket. I got some fucking tissue to pick up all the shit and put it in the toilet. Flushed the toilet. Guess what? He had so much shit that it clogged the toilet. cat shit. Then I had to get the plunger. Unfortunately, I only had to plunge it like one time, but crazy, huh? Yeah, well, what I was telling her is she has to completely walk away from the deal that she's already put a lot of time and energy into and pay us $10,000. Because I knew I was willing to not get the 10 grand if I could get her to just out of this deal entirely. I'm sure Dean's happier because now he doesn't have to share any money with her. And what he just told me on the phone was, you don't really need a Chinese person anyway. Because you're almost always dealing agent to agent. You almost never deal with people directly. Like, our agent showed us the Mariposa house, right? And I never even met the other real estate agent or the people who live there or anything. So I don't know. The point is, I don't want to know how real estate works. Yeah, it's not my job. I don't want to know about it. And I hate that this is making me know about it. It's just a bunch of boring, horrible TE shit. I hate TE stuff. I mean, Trouble's very stressed out. Me and Rachel being gone a lot and stuff, it's traumatizing to him. I don't blame him for shitting on the bed. I'm grateful he didn't shit on the bed that we were sleeping in. And then he would have really been pulling an Amber Heard. And even then I'd say, well, Trouble, we deserve it. We deserve it. We've disrupted everything you got used to. I don't blame you for being upset at us. Even though it's not our fault, you're a cat, so you have to blame us. Who else could you possibly blame? The thing is, I'm pretty good at TE as long as things that should stay the same don't change. Unfortunately, right now, everything that should stay the same is constantly changing. So my TE is incredibly garbage. And I go outside and smoke a cigarette. But I feel how can you stop publishing your live streams? What do you think you're communicating on right now? I mean, that question baffles me. This is like the third live stream I've published today alone. I do not understand your question at all. It's the question that makes less sense than any question I've ever heard before. When I look at my live streams, let's see here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got like 10 of them in the last 2 days. I have no idea what you're talking about. It makes no sense, your question. I'm sorry. That's the least sensible question I've ever heard. Ah, yes. You were looking. Oh, yeah, yeah. It's gonna. Dean is gonna oversee the amendment, which officially removes her legally from the listing agreement we signed. Delilah's gonna have to sign it too, and she's gonna be completely removed from this deal entirely, in every way. And her reward is that she doesn't have to pay me $10,000 in order to extract herself and have wasted weeks and weeks of work. Oh, are you also out of the deal with her broker? I didn't really read your question, Horseman Boy. That I'll have to ask. I don't want out of the deal. I just don't want her to profit from it at all. And I'm confident that arrangement is being accomplished. No, Dean Griffin, or Griffith, one of the two, I forget his last name. He's got very fancy business cards, though, let me tell you. Like the fanciest business cards I've ever seen. I don't want her broker out of the deal, and I don't want Dean out of the deal. I just want her to not profit at all from it. Her personally. I just don't want her personally to get any money out of this because she made me mad. I'm not mad at Caldwell Banker, and I'm not mad at Dean. I'm mad at Janet. Because, and the reason is because I'm somebody who only gets mad at the right person, right? It's like Dean kept being like, well, I didn't, Dean, it's not your job to figure out how horrible Janet is. That's my job. I don't want you telling me how horrible she is. That's my job to figure that out. So the fact that you didn't tell me that in advance, I do not hold you remotely responsible for, because that's my job, not yours. Caldwell Banker, I don't expect you to do a good job of vetting your real estate agents. I don't care. I don't blame you at all. I blame the person who's actually responsible, Janet. Just like when the police officer violated my rights and I went to the city and I said, listen, city of Pomona, do not pay me. That officer right there is the one responsible. He is the one who should have to pay me. Of course, the city of Pomona doesn't listen to me, even though I explained to them this is a perfect opportunity for us to use Supreme Court decisions that have established that only under circumstances where an individual's rights that have been declared an expressly protected right constitutionally have been violated in a knowing and willful fashion by the individual person, can you sue the actual cop? It's called qualified immunity. In this case, we can. So he should have to pay, not you. Instead, they just cut me $5,000 because, and I needed it at the time, so I was like, fine, give me $5,000, Pomona. If you would listen to me, Pomona, you could have not only not paid me $5,000, but have structurally reduced your liability going forward. And instead of listening to me at all, those stupid fucks just paid me $5,000 to go away. Because stupid fucking fucks are stupid fucking fucks, that's why. Janet's an ESTJ. Dean is an ENFJ, and he's not remotely Asian. Yeah, I'm not the kind of person who thinks, oh, Caldwell Banker's at fault for Janet's bad behavior. I appropriately think Janet's at fault for Janet's bad behavior. I don't think Dean's at fault. I don't think Caldwell Piper's at fault. I don't think anybody's at fault except Janet, because she's the one who's actually at fault. I get along great with the ENFJs because they're my beneficiary type. So I don't hear them at all, but they hear me. Like, Dean sent me this big block of FE shit to try to make this go away. I just brushed it aside. I didn't even read it. I said, again, Dean, she has 3 options. These are the options. Please express this to her. And if she did not choose one of those 3 options, then she's choosing option C. You know. And he said, okay, I will copy and paste your message to her. Because, of course, he doesn't want to be the one who's saying, ENFJs don't want to be the bearer of bad news, ideally. No. I don't want. I never needed 2 real estate agents in the first place. I only tried to get 1, and it came with 2 for some reason. I don't want 2. I wanted 1. Why would I call Janet and get 2 people? How does calling 1 person hire 2 people? I mean, it's ridiculous. It's like, and you know what's crazy? Only in the insane TE world of real estate can everybody I talk to say things like, well, she's just made an offer on your house. Entirely missing the point, right? Because it's all TE. Throw a little TI in the mix and everybody goes, it's crazy. Real estate, the stupidest fucking thing in the world. The only real estate, so stupid that everybody seems to think it's okay that the lady I hired to sell my house for as much money as possible tried to buy my house for as little money as possible. Only in real estate can people somehow think that's okay. That's how fucking stupid TE is. Well, what's your problem, Mark? She just made an offer on your house. My problem is, that's not her job, obviously. Well, but I mean, this happens all the time in real estate. I guess because there's nothing but idiots in real estate? I mean, it's so boring. You have to either be an idiot or an INTP to be interested in it. The only 2 kinds of possible people to be interested in real estate are idiots and INTP, who are not idiots but have absolute value TE for some reason. Okay. You're a TI dom who has absolute value for TE. What a nightmare, in my opinion, but I'm not an INTP. Oh, I'm a TI dog. But I'm burdened with having TE as an absolute value. Oh no! Well, it's no wonder you can't do anything. You know? Like, you want things to be correct and also validate on TE? Is there any such thing? I don't know if there is. I'm pretty convinced there's no such thing that's both correct and validates on TE. But I guess maybe you could come up with one, but I don't want to be the defense lawyer for TE. I don't like it at all. So I'll be the prosecutor of TE. Somebody else can be the defense lawyer. Normally, I can reliably be expected to want to be the defense lawyer, not the prosecutor. But I'll make an exception for TE. I'm saying I called Janet to be our real estate agent, and I got 2 people. We actually signed the agreement with Dean. It's like, well, I guess it's because Janet was out of town when we called her. She was on a cruise. But I don't, who knows why we got 2 agents. I didn't want 2 agents, you know? It's like, why do I need 2 real estate agents? I'm only selling 1 house. This is TE. You know, it's like, oh, 2 better than 1. Oh, 2 better than 1. I'm a TE person. Oh, well, this guy's going to be so happy because he's got twice as many, what? Fucking problems? Yes, twice as many problems. That's what I got. And I got 2 real estate agents. Now I got twice as many problems. Great, thanks a lot. That's what I wanted. That's what I called you for. Twice as many problems. Wonderful. Well, I don't want a team. I want 1 real estate agent. Is that too much to ask for? I don't want to know the difference between a realtor and a real estate agent and a listing agent and a broker. I don't want to know any of that shit. I want to make a phone call and have 1 person do their job. Is that too much to ask? The thing is, the reason I'm calling a realtor and paying them that commission and stuff is so that I don't have to think about real estate. If I wanted to think about real estate, I would have sold it myself for sale by owner. And I wouldn't have to pay any commission, but I'd have to think a lot more about real estate. Now here I am, hiring a realtor, and somehow I have to think about real estate. I mean, that is their job, not mine. You know? Oh, great, Andre. I actually have 1 real estate agent I like, David in Mariposa. He's an ESFP. But he only does real estate deals in Merced County and Mariposa County. So If I ever again, which I hopefully, fingers crossed, never will need again to do this. You know what I said, which was so dumb before. Well, Rachel, if we live here for a year or so and we don't like it, we'll just sell this house and move someplace else. Put myself through this again? We better love living there because I hate this so much. No, Dean's not the broker. He offered to tell on Janet to the broker for me, and I said, Dean, it's not your job to bust Janet. It's my job. If I want to, right? If it comes to that, I'll deal with that when it's time to deal with that. Unfortunately, I happen to know that Dean's not the broker and neither is Janet. I shouldn't have to know any of that stuff. That's why I hired a real estate person. I don't care if they're a realtor, a real estate agent, I don't care what their name is, right? I don't even want to know the difference between those things. I want to hire somebody so that I don't have to know any of those things. Rachel, don't blame yourself. Do not blame yourself. You made the intuitive choice that apparently, since my dad had all those pictures of Janet Ho on the fridge, that he must have liked Janet Ho. Perfectly reasonable, intuitively to make. If you have SI8, you don't realize how little intuition my father had. He just liked refrigerator magnets that were conveniently also calendars. And for some reason, he didn't like to remove them from the refrigerator after the year was over. But it all worked out fine. I'm happy with Dean, And what the poor choice of Janet made happen that otherwise wouldn't have happened is it made me have to be selfish about things. And that's important in a situation like this. I'm not TE and I'm not FI. I don't want to have to be selfish and figure things out. But in this instance, I have to be selfish. I don't have to figure things out. That's supposed to be the realtor's job. But I have to be selfish. Oh my God. You found a pair of pants for me? You are a true miracle worker. It would have taken me weeks to find a pair of pants. No, if only I didn't have all of my socks in a box at the bottom of the back of the pod. Boy, that would be nice. Then I could put on socks. Oh well. I'll just go sockless during the coldest part of the year in Los Angeles. Because I'm absolutely terrible at this. I'm terrible at everything associated with this. I am the worst person in history at this. This is exactly not what I'm good at. It's not even conceivable that anybody could be any worse at this than I am. It's just a non-stop parade of hilarious slash enraging Eric failures. Hey, everybody, you want to watch Eric fail again? It's like, I want to set things up one time, okay? I want to set things up one time. Hi, Skyger. Get it set up how I want it, and then have it stay the same forever. Currently, if things were properly set up, I'd be able to have the football game on in the background while I'm live streaming. Of course. The big TV is all wrapped up in bubble wrap and tapes. There's one big ladder. So tall, it only fits in the pod diagonally. And I had the brilliant idea. I covered the big TV in bubble wrap, taped it all around in packing tape, and then I had the brilliant idea. I know what I'm going to do. This is a great idea, Ark. I'm going to tape the big TV to this big ladder for some reason. I cannot even begin to explain. Which I did. I taped the big TV to the big ladder. Which I, of course, had precariously diagonally bounced in there. So that when I open the pod, the ladder falls over. Okay, I don't know what you were thinking yesterday, but it's time to remove the big TV from the ladder. So, I untaped it from the ladder. Well, now what am I going to do? Now, my previous solution of taping it to the ladder has proved a poor one. Now what am I going to do? Oh, just put it over here, I guess. I don't know what I thought of these boxes for right now. I don't know what I'm going to do. Anyway, if things were set up properly, I'd be able to watch TV and live stream at the same time. And you know what's hilarious? I can do that right now. Oh my god. I have the HDMI cable plugged from the laptop to the TV. But I don't have the TV turned on. And I'm just using the laptop to read this. So, if I wanted to watch football, all I have to do is, of course, since I have just one TV instead of two like I should, is move this HDMI cable from here over to there. Since I'm not even using the TV. Oh my God, how stupid can I possibly be? Ah, oh, Jesus Christ. What's wrong with you now? How does banging my head on this part of the computer make that go out of focus? I mean, I'm so stupid that when I plug my phone to charge arbitrarily into this incredibly stupid outlet in the garage for some reason, and this little table, currently the table box is on, was in the garage at the time, that little brown table. And I was like, oh no! It doesn't reach! What am I going to do? I'll have to find someplace else to set it down on. I found this weird little place to set it down on. Like, Eric, move that table closer to you. You know, I got a great idea, Eric. Instead of bouncing your phone between the wall and the back of the refrigerator on this little pipe, move the table closer to you. It was, I seriously had that shit balanced between the back of the fridge. It didn't occur to me until I came back later, tried to get my phone, dropped it, ripped the thing out of the wall, of course. No, no, no. You may not scratch this furniture. Pull the cord out of the wall, drop my phone on the ground. I look at the table, I'm like, oh, I could move that closer to the wall. Amazing. Like the time I'm trying to figure out how to get the internet out of the way of the painters in the back room. I had this brilliant idea that I was going to open the window and put the internet stuff out on a little table outside that window. Of course, that window was so stuck that nobody could possibly open it, including the painters, no matter what tools you used. It's the stuckest window in history. So I'm like, oh, Jesus, there's just no solution here. I do not know what to do. Then the painters are like, well, you could get an extension cord. And I'm like, somebody here is a genius, and it's definitely not me. I've got a whole box of extension cords in the pod. And unlike every other thing in the pod, I can always find the extension cords because their box looks different than all the other boxes. Just incidentally, you know? Not like I planned it that way. All the other boxes, I had the foresight to make them all look the same so they'd be stackable. So I can never know where anything is, even though they're all see-through. Hey Michelle, do you remember the name of that restaurant that serves like square hamburger patties? I forget what it's called. Anybody remember what that place is called? That place with the square hamburger patties? A red-haired girl? What's that place called? Anybody remember? Nobody can remember. I can't remember either. Wendy's? When these nuts get dragged across your face, Jeremiah Fix. Boom! Ooh is right. Burn. I burned Jeremiah Fix for answering my questions. Yes, you actually did just fall for that. I'm surprised anybody did, actually. But thank you for falling for that. I appreciate it. I'm glad somebody fell. Hi, Trouble Bubble. What a handsome kitty you are. Yes, you're a very handsome kitty man. And I love you with my emotion heart. That's the most important heart to love you with. Well, Capio, help yourself to lasagna if you want. Since you don't need utensils, you have an advantage over us. We should try eating the lasagna like the cats would eat. It's just. What do you think, Rachel? Should we try eating the lasagna like cats?
What?
Should we try eating the lasagna like cats? Just put our face down and just.
Meow.
I think of all the dumb things I've done, perhaps the single stupidest may have been, although there's so much competition for this, it may have been taping the TV to the ladder. Like, it made absolutely no sense in any possible world. Why would I do that? Why would I say, here's a good solution. I'll take this big TV to this big ladder. I must have been on a lot of mushrooms. It's the only conclusion I could draw. Like, who would do that? Why would they do that? What would they possibly be thinking? It's all beyond me. That's like, why I have to deal with this TV. Well, I think what I was thinking is, this TV is too big, and this ladder's too big, I should take them together. Things that are too big belong together. There.
Oh, Trouble. Mommy's not very happy with you right now, although I think you just did it out of stress.
I think he did it to punish us.
Yeah, I think so too.
Which I can't blame him for that.
No.
I can yell at him for it and shoo him outside,
He did.
but we're the only people he has to punish, and he can't yell at Janet like I can.
No.
Not that I did. I never did yell at her. Well, I yelled at her to go away when she knocked on our door. I never did yell at Janet. Big yawns for little Eric.
Yeah.
Wow. Looks like we're gonna have to DoorDash some food that requires no utensils. Or, heaven forbid, you know what we could try to DoorDash? Utensils. Or I could go look for the silverware in the
I
pond.
think that's gonna be a task.
I guarantee it. You don't need to just think it's going to be a task. I guarantee you the silver will be in the last box I look at. Just guaranteed. Wasn't that 8 a.m. flyby fun this morning? It was extraordinarily loud planes. I was like, what the fuck are they doing? They're supposed to fly out of the football game. Well, I forgot. Because January 1st is on Sunday, the Rose Parade was on today. So they decided to fly over the Rose Parade at 8 in the morning. With their extremely loud airplanes. Okay, guys. Are you purposely making your planes as loud as possible? They were going so slow, right? So I looked at them in the sky, they were going so slow. How could they be that loud going that slowly? It's like, I get it, you gotta go super fast, maybe you get super loud, okay. They were just creeping along, being so loud that when I was streaming, people on the stream were like, is World War III starting? Somebody said that in the stream.
Wow.
Have aliens landed? Somebody else said that. That's how loud those planes were. And they were going so slow. That's the mystery. You think if they go fast, they're less loud?
I don't know.
Maybe everything's backwards with military planes. Maybe they get quieter the faster they go. That's possible. I suppose. I don't really know anything about airplanes, so, you know, I know they fly high in the sky. I know that they're poor horrible. The best way to float majestically in the sky is in a hot air balloon. They left on the parking brake. That explains it.
Oh.
planes had left on my parking brakes. No wonder. It's a good joke, Jeremiah. Thanks. I like that one. Good job. Yeah, I got your misspelled one all right anyway, so that's fine. Thank you for correcting it, but I was able to piece together the gist of your message, even with your misspellings. You're notorious, Jeremiah Fix, for misspellings, odd punctuation, and other things. I've learned to decode what you're saying. I think you must be on your phone. That's, if I'm on my phone, I'd be saying, I'll see you in dinner in 15 minutes, and what the message will actually say is, I love hot, hard cock, and I'll send it, you know? Like, how did I mistype it that badly? Well, because, Eric, you can't see anything on your phone, and your fingers are old people fingers, so you don't know how to use a phone. Delilah, meanwhile, is just like, there, I just texted the entire text of War and Peace, you know, with 2 thumbs in 5 seconds. She's so fast on texting and so accurate, you know, it's crazy. That's the difference between being young and old, I guess. Being young when you have a phone means you really learn how to use a phone, and then you know how to use a phone. I missed that formative part of my phone education. Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna stop streaming now. I'm all complained out. We'll watch the end of the Rose Bowl. Hopefully Utah wins, because I'm still processing the fact that USC lost that game.
Me too.
I already had it in my head that we had won that game, and then magically we somehow lose it. It's like I turn around for a second, and all of a sudden, their Tulane's got first and goal, and they're going to win the game. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. We were winning that game the entire game. We were dominating every single statistical category completely, and we somehow magically lost the game. It's been that kind of month.
Yeah.
You can call it either, of course, January, which is something I've been saying a lot. Of course. Or you could call it, you've got to be fucking kidding me, January. Which is the other thing I've been saying a lot. You've got to be fucking kidding me. You're a vape store that doesn't have vapes? You've got to be fucking kidding me. It's 8:30 at night. I walked to the gas station to get cigarettes, and you're on a 30-minute break that just started 5 minutes ago? You've got to be fucking kidding me. I'm going to a second vape store, since the first vape store inexplicably has no vapes. And my phone decides on this really strange circuitous route that takes me in unnecessary loop-to-loops to get there. You've got to be fucking kidding me. I finally get back with the vape thing. I smoked more DMT that night than anybody's ever smoked in history. And I cannot get high on it. You have got to be fucking kidding me. Right? Rachel, you saw how much DMT I smoked that night?
It was just like a regular cigarette.
And it was flooring, Corey.
Yeah.
Like, what is wrong with me that I can't get high off this stuff? Well, my guess is the thing that makes mushrooms make you not get high on mushrooms again right away. It probably affects DMT too, because I'd just eaten a half ounce of mushrooms that day. So that's probably the explanation for it. But at the time, it was just like inexplicable.
It was inexplicable.
I was doing more drugs than anybody there, and everybody else was way more loaded than me. It was crazy. I could not explain it. But we did discover something that is kind of nice to know. Rachel likes ketamine.
Yes.
Good for her.
Yeah.
And I discovered that ketamine, like all the other drugs that night, apparently does nothing to me. The only time it did anything to me is when I did that one, like that one. That one, what it did to me was made me feel like I had a cocaine drip.
Yeah.
And even though it's not cocaine. And that one hit my head somewhat, but not in a particularly noticeable way, really. It kind of made me feel better, but I still didn't feel like I was on drugs, you know? How crazy is that shit? So, anyway, that's enough of this. We gotta go deal with real world shit, like getting a spoon.
Oh
All of this stuff is brought to our absolute knees in frustration and horror by the lack of a spoon. Goodbye, good night, good luck. I love you. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
And don't get to eat plain cheese either.